Hello, my name is Zane Osi. Tonight we're going to talk about keeping up with the Joneses. The other day I was talking with my son who had just graduated, and I had to remind him, not all of us are going to be able to achieve the American dream, and that's okay. It's not that big of a deal, but, you can still have a really good life and, you know, still plan for the future a little bit. You know, there's a lot of different ways you can do it, but the most important thing is you need to be able to spend your money wisely. Um, and always try to put some in the bank. But we'll talk about that a little bit more. There's always that big push from your peers and your neighbors or coworkers or whatever, and the media. Geez, you didn't get the new iPhone, you didn't get the new awesome shoes. Why are you still living in an apartment? Why don't you own a house? There's always that outside pressure. You just need to stop and make sure that you do the things that make you happy. And we'll talk about a couple of things that can kind of maybe help get you there. The first way is I don't know. I don't want to say it's the most important things, but they're usually about the most direct things that especially teenagers are going to worry about the most and have the hardest time struggling with. You know, Putting away 10% into savings from each paycheck, big thing. It doesn't seem like much, but it helps. And you don't need the best. Oh my goodness, you do not need the best. You don't need the best cars. You don't need the best clothes. A used car. Um, I'm not saying, go cheap and chintzy, but you don't need the best. I remember growing up as a kid, you know, my grandpa used to have a caddy, and those were the only people that drove Cadillacs were old people because they saved up their money, they upgraded their cars gradually, and boom, they retired and bought themselves a caddy. Beautiful cars, but you don't need one. And then another way to plan for the future and save money, set goals. Start out small, be like, okay, I don't have a car. Well, cars are expensive. Okay, I'm going to buy a bike. And then I'm going to ride my bike back and forth to work. And then eventually I'll buy a car. Just set that little small goal and move forward, move forward, move forward. Oh, very, very important thing. This next one, eating out. Oh my goodness, you can save so much money by cutting eating out. It's so expensive, and you have no leftovers for the next day. It's ridiculous. I'm guilty of it, but it's ridiculous. You know, and then getting into buying houses and things like that. Oddly, it's less. Generally a mortgage is almost less expensive than a rent payment. But the key, you must stay under budget. If you qualify for 200,000, try to find one for 150,000 because you don't want to be mortgage poor. It's terrible. It sucks. I mean, I've seen people go through it. You know, but the big thing is, be patient. You don't need it now. You don't need the best. Slow and steady. Just keep plugging along. You set your little goals and just move, move, move. I'd like to say that I don't speak out of life experience, and I'm only speaking out of stories told by my parents. But sadly, I've had to learn some of this the hard way, and it's you can still be happy without breaking the bank. But this is the one thing that I want to leave you with. If you don't remember anything else that I leave you with, or that I said throughout this speech, remember this: always be on the lookout for a good deal. You can't beat it, and they're so hard to find. Thank you for your time.